Hi everyone, I hope everybody's okay. It's been absolutely ages since I last did an update. I believe it was the beginning of April when my last video was, so I've got quite a lot to show you. There's whips, FFOs, finishes, a little bit of haul, some exchanges that I've taken part in, and some stitchy kindness as well. So I'll start with my whips. These are in no particular order. This is Buzzing Around You by Chessie and Me. I started this for Michelle at the Striped Roses birthday. This I don't know why I'm showing it to you really, but it's minimal stitching, but I've at least managed to fill in the sheep. I'd actually run out of thread, so needed to wait for a replacement, and then I just haven't picked it up again. I hope you can see this. It's a really dark and dingy day today, so the light's a bit funny. This is a new start as part of the It Is Kismet Christmas in July for her birthday. This is Horse Country Holiday, and I am doing the country sampler conversion, but I am using the same fabric as Michelle Rudy Farm Girl, and this is where I am. I'm sure it's Brash is the fabric, and so I love this. This stitches up lovely. I'm doing mine on 36 count. When I first saw Michelle do this, I knew I wanted to do it, and I do actually want to finish it the same way that she has done, into a cushion. So I've gone and bought some fabric and some velvet ribbon so I could finish it like hers. I don't think I've ever had an original idea in my life, so I just need to copy. This was also another new start. This is In All Seasons by Tawny Cotton. I bought this in 2017. I loved it the very first time I saw it. I think it was on a blog that I'd seen it finished, but these are all the colours, and I just think they're really happy and summer-like, unlike today. But we've had some lovely weather, but not today apparently. Yeah, these are the colours, and the called for fabric is 36 count, no 40 count summer khaki I think, and I did have some summer khaki and I was all set to go on it, but I found this in my stash, which you can't really see. It's BST British Summertime by Sparklies. It's 32 count Murano, because I just fancied doing this on blue. It's a really pale blue with a little bit of mottling. You can't really see, but it is very pretty. So yeah, I just started in the middle, so I've done the bird and the strawberries, and then I've worked time. So yeah, this is really nice to work on, and there are some speciality stitches in this as well. This was another new start for Christmas in July. This is Prairie School of Santa. This is Santa 2006. I've had this for a while and I love him, but I decided to actually, I had kitted him up, but after the DMC released their new etoile, I decided to have a go with some of this for his coat, and it's only very subtle shimmer, but I think he looks really nice. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the sparkle, but I love how he's turned out. It's a funny thread to get used to. It doesn't start off great, but I think once you start to get your tension with the thread, it works a lot better. So yeah, this is my first Prairie Schooler I've ever stitched, and I loved how how he's turned out. I think he's great. So I'd like to do some more of these, but I haven't got any other Prairie Schooler patterns in my stock. Then I started Wave by Shepherd's Bush. This was bought for me by Christina of Whilst Iris Snaps on Instagram. She'd bought this kit off eBay, I think it was, and I just loved it. I loved how it looked when she'd stitched him up, and she managed to get me one. I didn't know it was coming. She writes all these really sweet little notes, and she put just what you need in the Shepherd's Bush kit, and it's like love me, and I love things like that, and I've still got that. I'll keep it with this. So that's where I am. I started this on the 4th of July just to try and be a bit patriotic for my American friends. So I managed to do a fair bit, but still quite a lot left to do. So I then worked on, and I finished this one. This is Farmhouse by Blackbird Designs, part of the Anniversaries of the Heart series, and then also Clara Ellen. And this is like literally the top and bottom part of the top and bottom lines. So I think you all know this is the one I struggle with the most. I desperately want to get it done, but I don't know why I don't pick it up now. There's the Farmhouse. I made a few changes, and this one is dedicated to my friend Susie, who is who I went to New York with, and this block is dedicated to when we very first went to New York in 2012. There's an apple, and I realise it does say NCY rather than NYC, because when we were first planning our trip, I think she got it wrong, or so, I can't remember how it happened. She got it wrong and said NCY rather than NYC, and we just carried on saying that, but I'm not sure if to change it to actual NYC. But there's just her name. She loves the colour turquoise, so I did make a few changes just to be more just to be a little bit more in keeping with what she likes. I think the roof was supposed to be grey, and the door on the chart to me looks turquoise, but there was no actual turquoise in the pattern, so I switched it because I liked the colour of the door, and then I've used that for the roof, but I can't remember what colour it was, but I could try and find out if somebody would like to know. But yeah, I do. This is one of my stitch 9. I had all intentions to do the finish this block in July, and then I was sort of on track for the rest of the year, but again I have not been gravitating to it, albeit it's the one I desperately want done the most, but I can't explain why. Anyway, I worked on this Angel Song by Shepherd's Bush. This I worked on in July again for It Is Kismet, Stitch Long Christmas in July rather, and I've done a little bit, so I managed to fill in the angel's wings, and I sewed on the buttons, and then I finished this block. And I do need to finish this. This is 1/1, and I do a full cross, but it isn't something I desperately want to do, but I need to get that done, and then I can roll it down even to do some more. But there is quite a lot to do still, so I am here, and then I need to do all of this. But I do love the speciality stitches in this, and I would like to get it done. So next is Witch's Hollow by The Primitive Needle. I printed this out because the picture on the front cover is really small, so I found this on her blog, and just like to use it to show. So I'm here. My plans for this was to stitch a motif a night for all of May, and yeah, I didn't get very far with that. I started off quite well, but I've got the horse and wagon in with the witches, and then I've done this bit over here. But this is, I do like stitching on this. This is a piece of sparkles fabric, 36 count. Is it Lorcan? I can never remember. But yeah, it's very similar to Picture This Plus Haunted as it is now, because I believe it's got a little bit lighter over time. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's such a lovely colour, and I'm really pleased that I am doing it on this. Then I worked on Black Snowman by Shepherd's Bush. I'd started this as a stitch along with Christina, Whilst Iris Snaps, and Lainey Main on Instagram, and Christina's already finished hers, and Lainey is about the same as me, I think. So I finished the snowman and then started on the stockings that hang down from his arms, and then there's some snowflakes left to do along with some of the little bits. But I think I'm further along than what I need to. I'm further along than halfway, I think. Is that what I'm trying to say? I don't even know. Yeah. And finally, I don't know why I'm showing you this, but hey ho. This is Snow Queen by Shepherd's Bush. I bought this in April, I think, and I took it with me on holiday when I went away for a long weekend in May for my friends' birthdays. They were all turning 40 this year, so that was all I managed to get done by the pool. But yeah, but I love this. I think this was a release from earlier this year, just before Nashville, I think. I'm not sure, or it was last year, but I think she's lovely. So those are all my whips. Then finishes. So this is Jane Eyre by the Snowflower Diaries. This was one of my Stitch 9, and oh, let me get these. And managed to get it done. Now, if I liked it enough, I would unpick Jane Eyre there, because it's not actually in the centre, but it is charted that way. I think because of the J and the Y, because of this bottom border, it was over to the one side, but I would quite like it in the centre, but not enough for me to bother to redo it. And then also I'd almost redo this as well, because I think it looks a bit small and a bit shoved up in the corner, but it's done. I'm not sure what I'll do with her, but I'll leave it for a while, and maybe one day I will make the changes that I think would make her look better. I do like her, but I'm more pleased that she's done than anything else. And then this is another one of my Stitch 9. Now, when I first bought this pattern, I didn't actually notice this, all the snowflakes here, and so I've decided to leave it exactly as I first saw it and calling it a finish. This, as I said, this is one of my Stitch 9. So I love how it looks, but I'm pleased and happy to leave it here without doing feeling the need to do the rest. So I'm not sure how I will finish that one. Yeah, but did you ever see the one done by, oh, what's her name? I need to look. Jennifer, Simply X Stitching on Instagram, or Jen, I think it's Jen. I should know because I'm sending her my pattern when I'm finished of the In All Seasons by Tawny Cotton. But she had done hers on a piece of blue, I think it was Weeks Dyeworks fabric, and it looked absolutely amazing. And I think since then, I do love mine, but I loved hers even more on the blue fabric, and I wish I hadn't have started mine and I would have done it on some blue fabric. But never mind, I'm happy, I'm pleased it's done. I do love this fabric colour. This was my own Rick dyed, which I just dunked in, and I did love how it turned out, but I would have liked blue even more, but hey ho. My next finish is Summer House by Blackbird Designs. This is also one of my Stitch 9, and I started this in February at the crew retreat, and I managed to finish it at the very end of June, after I think I started working on it properly for a week, and I was so pleased, possibly a bit longer, but I was so pleased to get it done. And I posted on Instagram, will I be able to get it done by blah 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 date, so I could get some credit. That was it for June Stitch from Stash, and I did, and I was so pleased, and I love everything about it. I've made a few changes, so where so this one here, the house, I added in the window and didn't stitch the window colours in. I just left them blank, and I have done my initials, because my initials do flow in the right way for the alphabet, so April, Elizabeth, and then my surname. So you can't really tell that that they're a different colour straight off, but I've used all the called for threads, and I wonder if this is the colour of the turquoise I used for the farmhouse on Anniversaries of the Heart. I can't remember, or was it this one? Oh, I think it's this one here, which is, for anyone who's interested, just to bore you, is DMC Twilight. I'm sure that's the one I used. So yeah, I'm so pleased. I'm going to take this to my local L&S to get framed, and hopefully that will be done sooner rather than later. So that's that one. Then I've got some FFOs now. So my first FFO, this is Spooky Row by Bent Creek, and I'd finished this last year, and I got the buttons and had it framed, I think I picked it up in April, so I just love how this has turned out with all of the buttons. I love the frame, and I just think it is fab. And it's nice, they actually have they put a sticker on it and then write down everything that's been used in the frame, and if you've had a mat or any glass. So I had mine just framed without a mat or glass. Yeah. And then this one I'd pinned myself when I showed it in my last video and stuffed it into a frame, but I didn't really want to keep it that way, so I did have this one framed properly as well, and I'm much happier with it than my own effort. I was pleased with how I'd managed to pin it, and how straight I'd managed to get it from my first go, but I just didn't. I just wanted the frame to have a bit more border. So this is Santa by the Pink Needle, and this was sent to me by Linda Jo, Pretty Southern, after I'd seen her project, and I just loved it, and she was kind enough to send it to me. And so, and again, there's the label, and when I had it done, did I say it's slightly padded? Can't remember, but no glass, no matte, and I just love how it's turned out as well. And then Babushka's Bees, so this, I managed to finish this as well, and this is another one of my Stitch 9, and this I framed myself. I was going to get it framed professionally, but I just thought, I'd remembered I'd bought some fabric for it, and I was going to turn it into a cushion, and then I thought, oh, I wonder if I could do it in a frame. And do you know what, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. This is a super cheap frame. It's like super cheap. This is in fact the same frame as the one I'd originally used for the Santa by the Pink Needle, and this one was too big for it, and the other one was just too small. But I just love how this has turned out, and I added some pom-pom trim. I wasn't sure if it looked weird having it right up to the edge, but because the vines are hanging, I thought it would look strange and not having a border at the top. But anyway, there's nothing I can do about it on because it's literally cemented on. But I'm so pleased how it's turned out, and I love it. I love everything about it, and I especially love this fabric, and which I bought from a really lovely fabric shop in Lichfield when I in fact when I bought the fabric for Horse Country Holiday. I hadn't even started it then, but I just loved the fabric for that, and then I was just trying to just get bits of fabric together for finishing things. Yeah, so I'm sorry I'm holding that up a bit too long, but yeah, I love how that has turned out. Then I've made some quite extensive notes. So other finishes that that I did is I took part in, there was a Blackbird design exchange on a Facebook group, and there was 2 Dixie sampler exchanges. No, there's been one, sorry, I've put my name down for the next one. So the one I did for the Dixie sampler exchange, which was the Merry Unbirthday exchange, which is just a stitched item, I did this, which was Flag Box by Shepherd's Bush, because my exchange partner loved anything patriotic, so I really wanted to have a go at doing something patriotic, but I didn't have any charts with that theme, and I didn't really find a freebie one that I liked enough, so I contacted Chris at the Nimble Thimble in Oswestry, and she sent me a photo of 4 little kits that were all reduced, and she said pick one, and I picked all 4. So I've got some other things to do for the next exchange I do, if it's Americana again, you know, for just future exchanges. And then there's also that wave one, but I'm not giving that one away, I'm keeping that for myself. Yeah, so I will insert a picture here of how I finished it. Of course it's a little bit wonky at the bottom, but really pleased with how it turned out, and I distressed the board that I used at the back. Yes, and I bought some red, white and blue paint, and she seemed to like it. I'll insert a photo here of the one I got, it because it was a direct swap. The person you were stitching for was stitching for you. Next exchange I did was for the Blackbirds Designs, and this is what it was not a direct swap, so you didn't know who you were getting in return. So this was mine. Isn't it cute? And then with the 2019 on the back, and then she also included this chart, but I've actually already got this chart, it was part of my haul, So I will do a giveaway for this. Yeah. So I thought that was quite funny, because I bought this to do my exchange, to stitch as my exchange gift, but I left it too late and didn't have enough time. So yeah, that was mine, and I'll insert a picture here of the one I did. Don't look at it too closely because it looks like it's being run over. Me and my friend Christina, we've got the same birthday, and we decided to stitch something for each other. Now, yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed by mine because it was this. So I'll insert a picture here, and that was from a Cricket Collection chart called Very Nice Indeed, and that one is called Snowy Nights, and literally it's about this big. Now Christina sent her parcel to my work address, and it was like this. It was massive, and mine was, anyway, I opened it on my birthday, and I've actually I took it to my friend's house to show her, and I've kind of forgot it, so I'll insert a picture here of what she stitched me, and you'll understand why I'm a bit embarrassed by my tiny little effort. It's onto the inevitable. No, I'll tell you what I'll do first is I'll show you my some things that I've been sent this month, not this month, over the last few months by some lovely people. Oh no, the Dixie sampler exchange that I took part in March, I think it was. I'll insert a photo of the one that was it the spring? I think it was spring, or whatever they call it, I can't remember. This is what I stitched for someone. I did share it on my last video, but my exchange partner was actually unable to take part in, I think she's very unwell. So basically, Terry Hall, who runs the Dixie Sampler Exchange group, she managed to get some friends together to help. I think there was about 3 of us who didn't get our stitchy exchanges, so they clubbed together and somebody did something, but they're like extra special. So I'll show you what I got, but I'm not sure who actually stitched them. So there was this to start with, and I'm not sure. Ooh! Yeah, there was this to start with, but I'm not sure who stitched these or where this has come from or anything like that, but it was actually put on with some ribbon, but it came off, so I've just sort of fixed it, so you just place it on. But I think that's really sweet. Then there was this is a punch needle, I believe, but again I'm not sure of the pattern, but I love the colours and the rabbit on that. I think it's really sweet. This, oh, actually I do know who made this. This is Nancy Knight. So yeah, I love him. It was a really big shock actually, because it came in a massive box, because there was loads of things put in there. I got this American project bag, I think in the Vanna style, but I think that fabric is absolutely fab. Then I just got some bits, so a thread card, some post-it notes, some buttons, some more buttons, and some counting pins, which these are really sweet. The sun's coming out now. Some counting pins. I got some ribbon, some thread holders, and a needle minder, a peg with a heart clip, and a needle keep, not a needle keep, a thread drop type thing, I don't know what you call them, some magnets, and I have got a pattern which I don't know where I've put, but it's a Threadwork Primitives one, which I will post a picture here of. I've only just remembered that because I've had this stuff for ages and I'd put it all away and was using it, and but thought I needed to get everything out and just forgot the pattern. And Kerry from Kerry in Stitches, I'm not sure if you watch her videos, but she'd put up that she'd received a bunch of beads that they were from me, but she sent me a tiny Biscornu scissor fob and a postcard just to say thank you. But this is, they're teeny tiny, stitched. Can you even see that? Will that focus? Then front and back. And I think some of these beads are the ones that I sent her. Made for you. And thank you written on there, if you can see that. So yeah, she wrote me a nice little note just to say thank you, which you don't ever expect. From Vicky in the US. She sent me a private message on Instagram, and I think she started it off with, please don't think I'm weird or think this is a weird email, but her best friend had said that I might like some fabric that she got, basically because it's got bees on it, and her friend, who I believe is Christine or Christina, I do apologise for not checking, she watches my videos and had said, I think April would like some of this fabric, and this is what prompted Vicky to send me this message. She's ever so funny, and I think she's very witty, and she does amuse me, and we were just having these conversations, and then it just progressed on to oh, I'm ordering some fabric, let me know what you'd like, or you know, and then we can just send it all off in the same parcel. She would not even let me pay for the fabric or pay for shipping or anything like that. And anyway, so I'd said, oh, I'd love to try some Lakeside Linen vintage Meadow Rue. Anyway, she went off and found some, and then I was like, oh, is there any chance you could try and get this book for me? And it was a Blackbird's Design one, and she'd gone phoning round her LNS and other LNSs trying to see if they could get a copy, other people hunting for it, but I actually managed to get it myself. Anyway, she asked me, oh, I've got a second copy of this Blackbird book, would you like it? And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be fab, please let me pay for postage. And she would not have it. Anyway, so eventually the because she said she was like having lots of work done, and bless her, she couldn't get her floors done. She was living in a kitchen, basically stitching in a kitchen for months and months and months, trying to get her floor sorted after a move, moving all her furniture around. Anyway, so anyway, she sent this parcel off, and when it arrived, it weighed an absolute ton, and I text her immediately, I private message her immediately with, what have you done? And I'll just show you. I was just so overwhelmed. Anyway, this is the fabric that started it all off, and she must have absolutely stacks of this because I've got a great big massive cut here, but isn't it lovely with the bees? So, and then she's put some other fabric that she just thought I might like. Oh, I love this, I think this is lovely, and it goes really well with this Queen Victoria fabric. I've not been able to use any of it because I've waited to show on this video, so I can at least now get to use it. So I just love all of these colours, are absolutely me. Where are they? I've been using these and I'm not even going to pretend that I haven't. She sent me some 4 project bags, which these are great. I've never actually tried these, but they're so good, and they hold, I'm sure one of my projects was A4, which it holds things lovely. Yeah, I'm sure that's A4. So I'm going to order some more of these. And then it's basically 2 lots of lakeside linen, and I mean, this stuff is, oh my god, it's so gorgeous. So this is Meadow Rue 36 count, and then this is vintage Meadow Rue, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I think that's quite true showing on the screen. So that's the difference. I always wondered what the difference was. She said she couldn't really tell, but you wait and see if you can see a difference. But I suppose a slight difference. But I've already put this into I haven't used it yet, but I've put this to stitch Elizabeth Weston on. I had already got a piece of fabric, but it was like scrimping with a teeny tiny edge, but this will work lovely. So that was the vintage Meadow Rue. No, that's the Meadow Rue, and then the vintage Meadow Rue. I don't even want to cut into this, but I just think it's lovely. It feels lovely, and I'm very excited. And then she also sent me some John James petites. I've never tried these before, but they are so handy, just for being able to use up as much of your of the thread as possible. So I'd never got on with the normal John James needles before, but that's what I've got to use with my Royal School of Needlework. Well, not got to, but that's what they supply. And I've actually liked them more, but then these I think these are fab. So she sent me 28 and 26, and I will definitely get some more of these when I've lost / broken these. I think they're such good needles. And then the book she was on about is A Schoolgirl's Work by Blackbird Designs. Now this is it's a good read actually. I've started to read it, and it's just going through talking about samplers, and you know, going through. And then at the back there are some designs, smaller designs that are taken by the original one and just their own twist. And this, I love this one. It's called Remember Me. So I absolutely want to do that one. And this is, where is it? Page 20. This is their take on Anne York. So I just think it's really interesting to read about these. So I'm loving doing all of that. And there are some of the patterns in the back as well. So if you can get hold of this book, it's definitely worth it. Sorry about the glare. Hannah's Small Basket, that one's called. And this is Holly's sewing box. That fits into a box. And Holly's Pin Keep. And Polly's Thimble Box. rosebud sachets. Sorry, there's the pattern. Rosebud sachets. And then So Fade My Hours needlebook. And then Anne's sewing tray, but they'll explain as to what sampler they're taking their inspiration from and talk about it. But it's a lovely book and I am enjoying reading that very much. She also included some literature about the town she's in and the newspaper and things like that, and I love reading things like that. So thank you, Vicky, and you know how much I appreciate. I've had to have a bit of a break so I could put everything away because there was loads. I'll go through my small amount of haul, but I would maybe get yourself a drink because you'll be here quite a while. This is in no particular order, but I've tried to keep things in a designer order, so all the designers together. So I bought a Happy Life sampler by La Di Da. I think this was a market release, but I didn't see it. Somebody on Instagram has just finished this, and I am going to do this on 40 count Harvest blush. I thought it looked quite similar to the picture. I've taken everything out of the package so not to rustle around. I told you earlier about some patriotic designs that I got from the Nimble Thimble. So this one is Hope for Peace. And This Land. All these come with the fabric and threads, and then Home, and all with the buttons as well. Is that, can you see that properly? Then Lollipop Stitches had bought this and I just thought it was really sweet. This is by Kuri Batakuri and it's something like Christmas in Pink. I got those from her Etsy shop as a digital download. If you email her, she'll refund the postage and send you the digital copy. And then this one is Halloween in the Rain. I've decided that I'm not going to do this writing at the bottom and just shorten the sides so it will fit on a piece of vintage country mocha that I've already got. Then I bought Jenny Bean's Christmas sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. I think loads of people have seen that one. This sounds a bit odd, but I bought a Just Cross Stitch magazine from 2011. This was well before I was back into cross stitch, but somebody had posted a picture of Winter Wind, but this is by Plum Street Samplers, and I just thought this was a lovely design, so I managed to find a copy of the magazine. But this has also got a copy of, and I've already got this, I bought it from the US, not really realising, well not at all really, it's like realising that Winter at Beacon House is also in this magazine, which I think this is absolutely beautiful. And I've got all this kitted up. I did actually start it by doing a few lines of it, but I've just put it back. But I love that. For the Winter Wind, I've got some 32 count that I just Rick dyed myself with pearl grey. I bought some charts from The Good Housewife, and this is Peaceable Kingdom. I love this. This is a her take on an old painting, I think. Yeah, an old painting by Edward Hicks. Now I've seen this. I'm not sure if it's on her Etsy shop or somewhere anyway, but there is a picture with it done. I think it's just a digital picture, but of it done on blue, and I really quite liked it. So that looks quite green there, but it is blue. It's Frosty Aqua by XG Designs. That's 36 count, I think, and I just thought that would look quite nice on there. If I can find the picture with the blue, I'll insert it here. Then I bought Ivy Wed. Not that I'm married, but I love this as well. I love the birds and her dress as well, just the flowers on the dress. I think it's really pretty, and I've got some black fabric, but I think I'd quite like, this is Lugan, no, not Lugan, it's Joblin, and I think I would like a linen, but a smaller count linen. I think it calls for 30. Oh, it's 32 count black Belfast, but that's, I think this is 28, but I think I'd quite like something a little bit smaller. So yeah, that's that. They came really quickly actually, and postage is reasonable as well from the US. I bought Plum Street Samplers Berry Cottage. I believe there are a few of these with berry type names, but I can't remember what any of them were called right now. And I've got two lots of fabric in there that I've Rick dyed that I thought I might like to try, because the picture it looks quite pale, but then when I look for some photos of other stitched pieces on Facebook, the fabric seemed to be a lot more a lot darker than how it shows here. So I've just got two pieces there, so I'll see which one I prefer. Then I bought these from Arts and Designs in the UK, and this is Noah's Christmas Ark 1 and Noah's Christmas Ark 2, and these are sold by Arts and Designs as two, not just single ones, and I think it's about £12 or £13 for the two charts, which I think is really good value. I've loved these from when they first came out earlier last year, and thought, yeah, really cute. But Shepherd's Bush on their Instagram or Facebook page had posted a picture of them all done on one piece of fabric, but in a different order, and I just loved it. So that's what I'm going to do with those, and I'm just going to buy the others over the next couple of months, so I've got them all. Then I bought Heaven Gave Rain. I've seen this on Instagram finished up, and I thought it was really sweet, so I like that. This, I've liked this one for a long time. This is Eliza Scattergood by Plum Street Samplers again. And then I've got some Sparkly's fabric, which is Barely Bronze, which I thought was quite a good colour match for the picture. I know it's not, it isn't usually, but I like how the picture looks, so I thought that looked quite good. And this one, I love this because of the strawberry tree, and this is Fruits of the Spirit. Fruit of the Spirit, sorry, and it's this strawberry, well, it's all of them here, but I love how that strawberry tree looks. But I might not do the grass or the bottom and just do maybe a line of grass because I just love the houses. I'm not sure, and I quite like that sun as well, how that. I haven't picked any fabric for that yet though. Oh no, I tell a lie, I've got some, this was from that eBay lot I bought, and this is, and it is in fact the right colour fabric. It's vintage sand dune by Lakeside Linens, but this is 40 count, so it's only, it calls for 32 count, but I've actually got the call for, so I'm going to use it. I love the colours. I love the colours in that. I think they're really lovely and vibrant. Okay, this is In All Things Be Exceedingly Diligent, and that's it all. That's by Needlework Press. Sorry for the glare. This, I ran to order this when I saw Carol Silkbox Stitchers finished piece. I thought it looked beautiful, so I had bought the fabric from Linda Jo, and I was just going to order the chart whenever, but yeah, as soon as I saw it, I just thought it was fab. She this is Old Town Blend by Old Town Blend by R&R, I think, and it's 32 count, and I love the colour of this. I think the called for fabric is just 32 count raw, but I love this. Right. Yeah. And I have started to kit that one up. I've got some anchor, so I've just started to kit it up with that. This I told you about earlier, but I bought this from my local L&S, this Blackbird Designs Le Poulet, but this is in the Ooh La La book now that was released earlier this year for Nashville, and I've got some of the threads and just some natural fabric that I was going to do it on. I've managed to get a few things from Blackbird's Design on eBay. Now this one, I was hunting high and low for this. This is the one I asked my friend Vicky about, who sent me the parcel that I told you about earlier, and this is In Friendship's Way, and I don't know why I never bought this when I did see it on the cross stitch shops here. I just thought, oh, it'll be fine, but then obviously I want it, and now I couldn't get it at all, and I was so happy when I saw it come up on eBay, and I don't even think it's been used. It's in fab condition, but there are, I think there's 3 designs in here that I absolutely love. It's this one, so that's Welcome Dear August, and I have actually bought a box that will hopefully fit on. Then it's this one, which is Mildred Strawberry, I think, and yeah, I love that. I love the moth. Let me just double check. Yeah, Mildred Strawberry. That's just a bigger picture. I'd love to be able to get this box. I've looked high and low for something, anything like this in the UK, but no, seems impossible. So it's only from Joann's, I think, and they do different sizes, but I don't think I'll ever be able to get one. I'll just have to keep looking for something else here. I love how it looks. I think they've used that for another design. In one of the books released for Nashville, and then there's this one, Button Box. I love this. I bought a box, a wooden box from Hobbycraft that I've painted and distressed. I would show that, but it's away somewhere, so I won't bother. I just love how it looks. I've already kitted up both, and I just need to pull one piece of fabric for the strawberry, I think. But I'm going to do the button box on barely bronzed. I think it's 32 count barely bronzed, and that's what the pattern calls for, the 32 count. So yeah, I was super excited I got that. Then I've loved this for ages. When this you see, love this. I paid more than I wanted to for it on eBay, but I love it. This Remember Me series, I just think it's gorgeous. I don't think it's actually all finished, but it was from a while ago. There was, what's the other one? Is it Merry Christmas Ella Vaughan? Oh, I love that, and that was sold on eBay a few weeks before this one, but I missed out. I let the time lapse and it was sold for really quite cheap, but love this. So, and I've already kitted up. I've just got some, I think that's Amber Linen by DMC, and those are all the threads. I love the colours. And then this one I picked up because I was doing my exchange, the Dixie Sampler exchange, and they liked Americana, and I was just looking for some charts, but this didn't come in time before I ordered the Shepherd's Bush, but I'm glad I've got it. I love this book. I've ummed and ahed about getting this for a while, but I just thought I'm going to get it because it will no doubt go out of print at some point. Another eBay find was Christmas Garden. Love this, and I love it for this the most. It's I do like the Christmas Garden one, but I love that pinky, what's it called? It's Naughty or Nice, and there's some pictures. And I don't think this chart has ever been used either. I love the buttons around it, because I think they originally posted this photo but were not 100% happy with it, so then added the buttons afterwards, but still included the original photo. Or was it part of like an exclusive kit for a while, and that was the original photo, and then they added the buttons for this? I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm really pleased I've got that. And then this one, I got this from eBay, and it came from the US, and I paid about £10 for it, and it's this Tending the Garden, but it's a quilting book, but there are a few cross-stitch designs in here, and this is the one I love it for, and this is called My Grandmother's Garden there, but I just loved everything about that. I can't remember, I think I just saw a picture of it somewhere when I just searched Blackbird Designs, and I like to look at the images, and this came up. And then I think Michelle from the Striped Rose had got this as well recently, so I'm pleased. I think some people are saying it's out of print, but I'm sure if you Google it you can get it quite easily. But I've got all the threads for it. And then I've got some, this was again from that eBay fabric bundle that I bought a few months ago. This is 30 count R&R, and I think it's Hog River or something like that, but I love the colour, so I just thought I'll use that. Right, that's one lot of stuff. Then, because I've taken it all out of the packages, it's precariously balancing. Then this one is Hocus Pocus by Shepherd's Bush. Now this is where if you buy the button, you get the chart for free. And I am doing this for, I might be doing this for a Halloween exchange for the Dixie Sampler group. I've got some of the threads which I really like, but yeah, love that. And this is the Scarlet House Strawberry, yeah, the Scarlet House Strawberry House. I love this, I love the strawberries. And then again, this fabric, it doesn't look very dark in the picture, but I think it's darker. What does it call for? 35 count mink. I don't know what that's like, but I've got some 35 count Weeks Dye Wet straw that I've just got left over from my Anniversaries of the Heart, and I've got all the threads, so that one's all kitted up ready. This one is Shady Day by Sheepish Designs. I've loved this since Michelle at the Striped Rose pulled it out and showed it on a video. Love the colours in it. And I've got just some fabric. I'm not sure about this fabric though, because it is quite mottled looking. And this is Leo by Sparklies, but I'm not, it looks more yellow there than it is in real life, but I'm not entirely sold on it. But it is quite, I don't know, probably not, but it's there just in case I change my mind. This one is A Well-Dressed Man by the Cricket Collection. This was shown on a video, I think, by Priscilla and Chelsea. They'd done a tour of, I've got no idea what the cross stitch shop was, but it was when they went on, was it Stitchville? The one in Minnesota, I'm not sure, but they quickly panned around the shop and it was there on the wall, and I took a blurry screenshot and I loved it, and I asked Chris at the Nimble Thimble if she could order it for me, and she did. Now the picture that was shown on the video, the fabric looked loads darker, but this is the called for fabric, and this is, I think it's crossed, oh, what is it? Yeah, Blue Wing Linen by Witchelt, but they don't sell that anymore. But there was somebody selling this in the UK, but it's Jobelin rather than it being linen, but apparently it's the same colour, but it doesn't look as dark as the picture on the video that Priscilla and Chelsea took, and that's what I would like. So I might look at trying to find something darker. There used to be a Witchelt fabric, and I think something like Christmas Elegance was done on it, and it's a lovely blue but a bit greeny. Oh, I love that colour, but I think they've stopped making that as well. But I'm going to try and have a look around, but I've got that one just in case. This one I bought from the Milton Keynes cross stitch retreat, and this is Jack Frost Tree Farm Part 1, and this, I do only really like Part 1. I like all the other parts, but I think I only want to stitch this part 1. Sorry, my hair's really driving me nuts. But this is by Little House Needleworks. But I liked the fact that, yes, this is released in parts, but I liked the fact that she released all of the designs for view all at once, so you could actually see what every part would look like. I thought that was really good. But yeah, I love that one. This is Honeyberry by Erica Michaels, and this is done on the 40 count silk gauze, and it is tiny. So that's the gauze, and it's just a no from me. I don't think, I quite like it a bit bigger actually, so I'm going to find some fabric that I like, because you have to stitch all of the background, and I don't want to do that. Not if I can help it, so I'm just going to look for something. There's so it's tiny compared to, this is the Linenberry. It's just teeny weeny, but I would like it quite a bit bigger than that, and I don't want to stitch the background. And I also bought Scary Berry by Erica Michaels again, and this is the same where it's done on silk gauze and you have to stitch all of the background. This, I've seen a few people stitch this, but I've not seen anybody do this one. So yeah, just the house on that. And I've got some fabric. This was from that eBay haul, and this is crossed wing linen Oakenfee. Is that how you'd say that? Oakenfee. But it's got this blue and green sort of tone to it, and I thought that would look great for Halloween, and that this would work quite well on it, so I was pleased with that. That's 40 count. Now, oh, I've got another pile, bear with. Honestly, it's ridiculous. So this, I went to the Nimble Thimble. I can't even remember what I was going for, but yeah, I don't need an excuse. These are models that she's got stitched up, and I've eyed them up each time. Yeah, but this is Moonlight Garden by The Drawn Thread. You might think these are a little bit old-fashioned looking, but they're so beautiful in real life. And it's nice that I get to see the model in the shop. But these come kitted up. So this is pearl grey, yeah, smoky pearl linen, and it's got all the silks to go with it. And it's got quite a few speciality stitches in that one, which I love, and some beads. So there's that one. Then there's this one, and this is an open heart. And again, this is absolutely gorgeous, stitched up in real life. Now, Chris had actually, the original fabric that the Drawn Thread did this on was Legacy Cafe au Lait. But Legacy don't make that fabric anymore. But when this first came out, Chris had actually bought, I think maybe 3 yards of it or something. Because I think when they have to buy it, it needs to be a good size order for this Legacy company to sell to them. I don't know, they needed to make quite a big commitment. She was telling me all about it. But this is actually the correct fabric. They've changed the pattern now to say 32 count cream, but this fabric, it doesn't look it here, but it's almost got there's a pink cast to it. It's very odd, she said, Chris. So if you do put it up against cream, it does look very different. So she managed to talk me into it in about 5 seconds. But these are all the threads as well. And again, did I say this was already stitched up as a model? But it's so beautiful. And it was, I think she'd got one left with the called for fabric. So again, I can be talked into anything in about 3 seconds. So. And then this one, again, the Drawn Thread. This is Random Thoughts, and another model. Sorry if I keep repeating myself. And this is really sweet. And I think this is 32 count Summer Khaki. Yeah. So I'm showing you the wrong bit. So those are all the silk threads and the fabric, which I love Summer Khaki. Sorry, I sneezed then. And then this has got some really sweet little charms. So can you see the scissors? And then there's a cotton reel and a key and a heart, acorn. I just think they're really sweet. And then this one, before I get on to the last 3 items, this is the Herb Gatherer by Shepherd's Bush, and this I bought as a kit from eBay, and it was £10, so I had to get it. It's all done in DMC. The fabric is cream. Now I think these do look a little bit dated, I suppose, but I might change the fabric and just do something a little bit more darker. I've got the, why am I showing you that like that? I've got the other one, what's it called? The Toy Gatherer, and it called for cream or something linen, but I actually picked up a blue sparkly fabric, which I didn't know whether it would work, but I started to stitch the moon on it and it looks really good. So I might look to do something like that for this as well, just to make it a bit different, because it does have a nighttime scene to it. But I think these are really sweet, albeit I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, Shepherd's Bush is a new discovery for me, so I don't mind the older designs. I quite like them. Now, when I was at the Milton Keynes retreat in April, I was sitting on a table where I was sitting with a lot of them, not a lot of them, but 3 of them last time when I went in October, the very first one that I went to, and they're all stitching these heights, and there was me with this teeny tiny little design. Anyway, so within, I think it was the Saturday, I was talked into buying something that I've loved for ages, and then which I'll show you in a minute, and then this one, which is, it's a long dog sampler and it's the Pilgrim, and I love this, and I love this more than the Life After Death. So yeah, 3 of us bought this, or was it 4 of us bought this, and it's just, I think it's beautiful. The other 2 have already started it, and there's me, I've just got the pattern, but I want to choose the right sort of fabric, but I'm glad I've got it. But it is quite big, 305 by 367, and I've just pulled out black DMC thread, because I think I'd like a darker fabric, I think. I'm not sure, but other people have picked out little motifs and done them in a colour, so I might do something like that. Yeah, there's a Facebook group that you can join, it's called The Pilgrim, and you can get some really good ideas if you go on there. But anyway, sorry. I can buy this as a print by the artist, but Mags on my table kept telling me to be quiet, and it would be cheaper to have bought as a print rather than a cross stitch. But yeah, I ended up buying it. This is a Walk in the Snow, no, Caught in the Snow by Gecko Rouge, and it's by an artist called Joe Grundy. And I love this. I love this so much. It's really beautiful. I have got a picture, it's only a print, but of her other things I would love. I just love them. I love how they are. And this is, I do like heaven and earth designs or full coverage designs, but there was just no way on God's green earth that I was ever going to get one. And then when I did find this, I was just like, oh, I'm really tempted. But yeah, I was just sitting on the table, and then I was showing people, you know, because we were talking about full coverage designs, and I showed them, like, oh yeah, da, da, da. And I ended up buying it. It cost a lot of money, but it all comes kitted up, and it's lovely. The way it's been put together. There are quite a few, but the last lot of pages are only a strip, like that makes any difference, a strip on the one page. So, you know, it's not as bad as it looks. And it came with fabric, which I'll show you, and these are all the threads. There are 4 cards of colours. There's not, even though it looks very wintry and white, there is actually no white in this, in the colour packs. So when it came, it was just like, oh my god, what have I done? But I love it. I do like the way they've been put together. I've been given loads of advice on how to go about tackling a full coverage piece. I don't think parking is for me. I don't understand it. They come, all the threads do come tied together in a card, and she gives you a needle as well. But the symbols and the numbers that she uses, they're all DMC threads, but the numbers and the symbols are not DMC numbers. So if you do need to have more colours, I'm sure you could ask her. There are different ways you can have it. You can say whichever way you go, it makes it more expensive or less expensive if you have blah 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 fabric on blah 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 size, or 2/2 or 1/2. I'm not really sure, but there are options to pick how you have it. But I went for, I can't even remember, but I went for, it's a guided fabric. I'm not sure if it's Magic Guide, bear with. I can't remember what this one is called, but this is I think this is 36 inches. My Millennium frame is 36 inches long, so it fits on there, and I do believe that the whole entire design will fit what's showing there. So what I might do is, because I'll be doing it 2/1, I think, but what I might do is, because you know when you do see the little gaps sometimes of the white showing through, I might actually dye this fabric just with a wash of grey, because it is mostly grey, so if that peeks through, it's not going to matter as much as stark white showing through. I'm not sure, I don't really know what I'm talking about at the moment, but I'm really pleased that I own it. What's the count size? 630 by 235. So it's not very, I mean it is, but it's not very wide. The height is not as, it's not as bad as, I mean, some of them, but I just love it. Everything about it I love. The other one that I would consider buying is is it Snowbound, or it's the famous American artist. I think Suzette the Primitive Stitcher is doing it. I've got to find it, let me find it. That's it, sorry, I had to go and find out. It's a real snow job by Jane Worcester Scott, and I love it. I think it's lovely. Again, it's a snowy scene, Amish buggies, I think, with houses. I'll insert a picture here, but that is another one that I would possibly consider, not necessarily doing, but having in my stash. But yeah, I am really pleased that I've bought this, and I might start it at the October retreat that I'm going to in Milton Keynes, albeit it does scare me ever so slightly, but I've been given lots of help by Mags, who is a prolific full coverage stitcher. I've got some footage from the Milton Keynes retreat of all the finishes that people bought with them. I managed to get a video whilst they were all at lunch, so I'll insert that at the end maybe. I know it was ages ago, but it's always nice to see what other stitchers have been doing. And then finally, my last purchase, this I've wanted for ages, and I just took the plunge. It's absolutely ginormous. It is Anne Mason's Exemplar Dames Designs. So this, I'm sure you've seen it before, but it is, it's this, God, it's really hard to see from this, it's this section here that I really love. Yeah, but I got this from Canada. Is it Traditional Stitches? Along with, I bought the Sheepish Designs one, Shady Day. The postage was really reasonable. It got through customs, no problem. I've got all the threads for it. I love the colours, and I dyed my own fabric by using camel rip dye. This is 36 count something, I'm not sure, it was originally cream, but I'm really pleased with how the how it's turned out. You can't really see, I've got the lights on and it's really dark outside, but you can't really see what it looks like. Does it work if I put some white against it? That's apparently a trick. Maybe a little bit. If I turn the light out, I'm not even sure. Oh, maybe. But yeah. So that is everything I have got to tell you. I'm not going to talk about my Royal School of Needlework. I might do a separate video on that because this one has already been about 3 hours long and filmed over about 5 days, it feels like. So I apologise for it being such a long time since my last video, but yeah, I've just left it and left it and left it until I've just got all this stuff, and the pile gets bigger the more you want to avoid doing a video. But anyway, that is absolutely everything. Oh no, it's not. I've got another thing to show you. When I was at the crew retreat, we were talking about the storage of like DMC and things like this, and it drives me up the wall, and I don't want to bobbin out. I just cannot be bothered to bobbin out. Anyway, Teresa Little Stitcher had done a video about these Annie's Keepers, and done a whole video of how they work and everything, and I just thought they would be fab. I'd love those, but I didn't want to pay the US shipping and customs charges and all the rest of it. And Jen, who was also on our table at the retreat, she said, oh, Lakeside Needlecrafts have started to sell those, and my eyes just went, what? I couldn't believe it. So I went and had a look, and I literally ordered them there and then, and I ordered a little bit excessive, I know, but I just did it all in one fell swoop. But I ordered 2 packs of these, and I think it's 300, yeah, 300 keepers with the hangers. I didn't want the hangers that you, oh, what is it a starter pack or something, or I can't remember. There's another sort of pack you can buy, but I just bought 2 of these because I knew there would be more than enough to cover all of my DMC and any other threads that I might want to put onto the plastic keeper things. Now I have started already, and I'll show you. This is what I was doing, and I've got 4 boxes of these. These are IKEA boxes, and what I did was glue cardboard down the side. These are the same size as the floss away bags, but the thing is there at the top rather than on the side. And I bought some card, and I've got some DMC stickers and stuck them in, and, like, you know, pair them up. And when I did it, I loved it to start with, but then it was 4 boxes of these just stacked up on top of each other, and it was driving me nuts. It was really driving me nuts because they don't look nice, albeit it took me ages to do all that, and they were all in one place and blah blah blah. So then I saw these and I thought, I'm gonna get them, well, which I have done, and I have started, and then so they all just look really nice. So I'm so pleased with the way the way. I have got quite far actually. You can't, I'm doing that. I have got quite far with, what shall I show you? Somebody, I posted a picture on Instagram to show that I'd bought them, and Vintage Joe Beth sent me a message saying, I've just bought these and I managed to buy a basket from Dunelm that these fit in perfectly. So I went and bought them, and they do. I've taken the lid off because the lid is actually on a hinge, but I took it off because it was only with the ties that they were stuck on, so I could just get them all in easily. So I have done quite a few, and they all look lovely. It will take a bit of time to do, so what I have done is I've got them all ready. So I've managed to get up to 936 ready for my floss to go on as and when I come to do it, and then they'll all fit in this nice basket. I'm not saying I've got 2 of these baskets and it ends up being as high as all of the 4 IKEA boxes, but that's by the by. They look nice, and I'm really pleased. That, and I love the thread drops, and then I can just click them off when I want to kit up something. I'm going to keep spares that I've got in the IKEA box, and then when these run out I'll replace them. I think it's just whatever makes you happy and how you want to store your floss. I just couldn't be bothered to sit and bobbinate everything to fit into a nice little box. This is ideal, albeit it was expensive, but it's really well made, and you spend your money on whatever you want to, don't you, really, at the end of the day. Hopefully without judgment from others, but there you go. But I'm really pleased with, but if anyone would like any more information, just let me know. I've got my email address in the description box below. So that is everything, and I mean it this time. So I will see you soon, hopefully, and I will do a separate video on my Royal School of Needlework things when I get a chance, / I've done some work, but I have been struggling somewhat with it. But there you go. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.